All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Star Wars. We are kicking things off in an exciting way here at Reunion Arena as the legendary Máscaras is set to take on the rugged and unpredictable Killer Tim Brooks.
Bill, you can feel the electricity in this building. Mascaras is one of the most famous masked wrestlers in the world, a truly international specimen. To have him here in Dallas tonight adds a ton of prestige to this event.
And listen to this crowd. Máscaras, the man of 1,000 masks, is adored everywhere he goes, and Texas is no exception.
Absolutely, Mascaras is like the Hulk Hogan of Mexican wrestling, Bill. He's on the same level as El Santo and Blue Demon. Fans grew up idolizing this man, and he still moves like a superstar. High-flying, agile, and always in tremendous condition.
And here comes Killer Tim Brooks, perhaps not receiving quite the same ovation.
Yeah, Beryl, if Mascaras looks like a superhero, Brooks looks like the villain from every barroom brawl in Texas.
Well, he is one tough individual, a journeyman of the sport, a rugged outlaw type, and a man with a history of bending the rules.
Brooks is a perfect foil for Mascaras. He's mean, he's unpredictable, and he's crafty. You give him an inch, well, he'll bite your whole hand off. And the man he's wrestling tonight, the pride of Waxahachie, Texas, Killer Tim Brooks.
Waxahachie. Now that's a catchy name.
It sure is. Because any wrestling fan worth their salt knows Waxahachie.
Isn't that where all Texas heels are legally required to come from?
Yes, Waxahachie, the official training center for crazy outlaw bikers who never met a rule they didn't break. There he is, Killer Tim Brooks, real mainstay in Dallas throughout the 70s.
A hero in Waxahachie, a mystery to spell check.
Have we seen him before?
I want to say no, but we've watched so many hours of WCCW that my brain now runs on mesquite smoke.
Same. Half the wrestlers blur together like a fever dream of mustaches and headlocks. And there's Steve Harms setting the stage.
There you see, coming into the ring here at Reunion Arena, one of the most famous men in the history of the sport of professional wrestling, Bill Mascaras, making his flashy entrance.
Look at the confidence, the poise, the blank stare of a man who knows he's never calling another wrestling show again.
Hey, be fair, he did real sports broadcasting.
Right? And then he comes here, calls one show, and decades later searches the earth for a videotape of it like it's the Ark of the Covenant.
Because he didn't care then, but now it's his greatest work. And here comes Mascaras, one of the greatest champions of all time.
Versus Tim Brooks, brawler, Waxahachie native, owner of exactly zero functioning combs.
Talk about a clash in styles, masks and muscles versus mud and motorcycle grease. Now this, Bill, this is wrestling.
Plain canvas, red ropes, blue apron.
No guardrail, just a rope, like a clothesline strung across the floor.
The only thing separating you from Death by Killer Brooks is a taut piece of hemp.
Give me wrestling like this every weekend and I'll die happy. Can you imagine living in a world where you could see this every week?
It'd be like following a local sports team.
Exactly. Season tickets to the Sportatorium where the season runs year-round and the air is 40% cigarette smoke. I tell you, Bill, we'll never get this back.
No marketing departments, no polished production, no branding synergy.
Just dudes in trunks beating the hell out of each other on a concrete floor.
The way nature intended.
Okay, so here comes Killer Tim Brooks and the black leather vest and the bullwhip.
Joe, are we positive that's Tim Brooks?
I don't know, Bill. I thought for a second it was Skinner.
Skinner? Joe, Skinner didn't debut until 1991.
Yeah, and Brooks here looks like a prototype action figure that WWF stole from.
Prototype? He looks like the bootleg Skinner you'd find in a flea market parking lot.
That's the official Territory Wrestling accessory set. Leather vest, animal part, whip, add a beer stain, and you unlocked the Texas Expansions pack.
Joe, Skinner used a big knife. Brooks uses a bullwhip. Totally different vibe.
Oh, totally. One is swamp-dwelling crocodile wrestler, and the other is your cousin's ex-husband who got kicked out of a rodeo.
Okay, but look at him. He's got the scowl, he's got the vest, he's got the posture of someone who smells like Copenhagen and disappointment.
You're describing every heel in Texas in the 1980s. Bill, this isn't even fair. Brooks looks like a man who sleeps in his truck. Mascaras looks like a Marvel superhero.
You have to admit, the contrast is incredible.
Yeah, it's like a man of 1,000 masks versus man of one vest.
The bullwhip is what really seals it.
Right, because the crowd should be chanting, "Use the force, Skinner."
Joe, that's the wrong gimmick in the wrong movie.
Hey, WCCW called these shows Star Wars, so everything's fair game. There we go. The transformation is complete. From Skinner prototype to Brooks default model.
He looks like he's about to ask, anybody know who parked that blue pickup on my property?
So to summarize, Mil Mascaras is a global wrestling legend. And Killer Tim Brooks, he's a man who definitely has opinions about fireworks and beer brands. Now hold on, you aren't doing commentary tonight, Bill.
Correct. I am merely the in-ring announcer, the velvet-voiced maestro introducing our principles.
So let me get this straight. You, the signature voice of world-class championship wrestling, and you're not calling the matches?
And Steve Harms is.
That's like hiring Luciano Pavarotti to operate the fog machine. Oh my God, listen to that voice.
Stop that.
Bill, I can't help it. You sound exactly the same in 1981, 2021, and probably in the afterlife. Your voice is eternal. It's a gimmick you never break.
A man protects his assets.
Correct. You will die as you lived. All right, Bill. Time to turn to the gospel of Gary Hart, a.k.a. the beating heart of world class.
Amen.
Gary writes that Killer Tim Brooks became my rock.
A rock, Joe.
Yes, Dwayne Johnson, capitalized. Dwayne the Brooks Johnson.
Brooks 316 says I just tripped over my own boots.
He could wrestle first match and tear it up, or go on last and blow the roof off the place.
Joe, the sportatorium roof was leaking before Brooks ever wrestled there.
Did you know Bill, Dick Murdoch, and Tim Brooks are cousins?
Yes, but wait, Dick was adopted.
Right. Their mothers were sisters.
Dick's mother puts him up for adoption.
Yet he still meets his relatives.
And becomes tight with Tim.
And dear God, it's confusing. Also, they gave Tim a silly haircut and threw him into a battle royal with zero training.
Is that a metaphor for circumcision?
Well, I'm pretty sure it is. And in Texas, that counts as training. And yes, Bill, here we go. Mil Mascaras versus Killer Tim Brooks. And in the middle, the most curiously constructed referee in wrestling history.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Manning.
Would you look at him lean on those ropes? He referees like he's waiting for a bus.
Like he's killing time during a smoke break.
Yeah, like someone told him, David, just chill out in there, because whatever you do, don't referee.
And remember, Joe, this man becomes one of the most important figures in the entire world-class story.
Right. Future booker, future confidant of Fritz, and future interview MVP of every WCCW documentary.
And tonight, future rope-leaning teenager at SeaWorld.
Oh yeah, flashbulbs. Bill, this is our comfort zone.
A time when light flashes ruined every frame of video, and we loved it.
You know, this reminds me of childhood vacation tapes. You know, Grand Candy 1986, except instead of Dad pointing at rocks, it's Killer Tim Brooks trying not to vomit. You know what I miss most, Bill? When video quality sucked. When UHF wrestling looked like a surveillance footage of a crime scene.
Ah, yes, those were the days where standard definition was a luxury.
Now, you can shoot your dinner in 4K Dolby version HDR at 120 frames per second. A meatball sub in better resolution than WrestleMania 3.
There's no hierarchy anymore, Joe.
None. Everyone's a filmmaker. Everyone's content. And therefore, we all lose. Ah, yes. The single hard camera. Slow zoom, no cuts, just pure, unfiltered territory wrestling.
You wanted angles? Too bad. The camera guy is having a sandwich.
Love it. You give me wrestling filmed like a hostage video any day.
You wouldn't know it looking at this, but world class becomes an innovator.
Yep, from this one camera caveman setup to 6 cameras, floor mics, ceiling mics, handhelds. They basically invent the modern wrestling TV format.
But tonight we feast on primitive Star Wars.
And there it is, the only thing in the ring tonight with energy, Mil Mascaras.
Meanwhile, David Manning logs out of consciousness again.
Rebooting. Please stand by. So to summarize, Mascaras is a movie star. Brooks is not a movie star anywhere. And David Manning is a NPC referee with rope-leaning idle animation.
And world class is about to change the wrestling world But first, we must suffer through the single camera era.
Near ropes. Oh, look at that flying wedge. Right.
Flying wedge? Bill, that sounds delicious. I'd order that at Chili's.
Comes with fries and a side of concussions.
Extra head trauma, please. And Brooks takes a powder right up the nose along half the locker room from what I hear.
That's not a strategy, Joe. That's a felony.
I'm still laughing at flying wedge, Bill. That's gonna live rent-free in my mind for years.
Wrestling on this Sunday, February 22nd, Star Wars 1981. At Reunion Arena, what a showplace for professional wrestling.
Yes, Steve, truly breathtaking. Nothing captures the majesty of Reunion Arena like total blackness.
The lighting budget was spent on Killer Tim Brooks' vest,
There's a knuckle lock. Mascaras brings like a gymnast, brings down Brooks.
who immediately regrets every cigarette he's ever smoked.
Mascara mounts him, gets a quick 2.
Brooks rolls out like he just remembered rent was due.
A lot of chain grappling early by the Lucha Libre legend, and Brooks is responding with his signature style, slowly dying. Bill, Killer Tim Brooks grappling with Mascaras is like watching a microwave try to fight a drone.
Both dangerous in their own way.
And here we are, flying wedges, bean franchises, and a match filmed in a cave.
Welcome to Wrestling Star Wars.
A show so dark even Steve Harm's optimism can't light it. Open hand slaps, Mascara puts up the dukes, looking every bit like a masked Muhammad Ali.
And Brooks looking like John L. Sullivan.
John L. Sullivan? Hold the phone, Bill, I had to look this up.
Joe went down the rabbit hole, the Wikipedia hole.
First of all, he's the namesake of half the Boston Police Department. Second, he died overweight and unhealthy from overindulging in food and drink.
Not from underindulging, mind you.
Right, as if the default assumption is he must have been eating too much kale. Overweight and unhealthy from overindulging in food and drink, which in Boston is simply called Saturday.
Heaven needed a Sullivan.
Here's my question, Bill. How is Steve Harms comparing Brooks to Sullivan, when Sullivan retired before film existed?
Exactly. Motion pictures didn't start screening until 3 years after Sullivan hung it up.
So Harms is comparing 1981 Tim Brooks to a man who exists only on painted portraits, sketches, and cigar box artwork.
Brooks must be striking the exact same pose from an 1898 tobacco card.
That footwork, straight out of the 19th century bare-knuckle ballroom brawling style.
He's basically reenacting a fight described only in old-timey newspapers.
Next, he'll challenge Mil Mascaras to Queensberry rules, good sir.
Perfectly normal wrestling Star Wars 81.
Well, as normal as a flying wedge sandwich at a diner.
Delicious?
Oh, shit. Brooks just launched Mascaras with that back suplex.
That man suplexes like he's throwing luggage onto a Greyhound bus.
And Mascaras immediately pops up. God forbid anyone actually hits him with hard offense.
He no-sells like a deity. If gravity tried to hurt him, he'd no-sell that too.
He grabs the front headlock just to shut Brooks down. Enough, you tried your move, now it's my match again.
I am sure with the great turnout here at Reunion Arena on this evening, we will probably see many more of these big extravaganzas here at Reunion Arena.
Meanwhile, cut to world's angriest grandmother in the front row shaking her head, no, no, no.
She's seen it all, Joe. She survived the Great Depression and Kabuki's Mist. Nothing impresses her.
Brooks claims Mascaras pulled his hair, but Brooks, who has less hair than a bowling ball.
He's accusing Mil Mascaras of pulling follicles that do not exist.
Mascaras gets in the monkey flip position, snatches the ankle scissor takeover. Tim Brooks brought to the mat like a toddler being put down for a nap.
Brooks escapes, then immediately offers that handshake again.
He is the world's least trustworthy Walmart greeter. And there it is, the handshake, sucker punch combo, Brooks' signature two-step.
Harms calls him 250 pounds of trouble.
Correction, 255 pounds of lamentable tragedy. Brooks takes a fantastic bump straight to the floor and immediately points to the top rope. Ref, he threw me over. DQ him.
Ah, yes, the Dallas rule. Throwing a man over the top rope equals instant disqualification.
Brooks seeking an unfair prosecution on shaky evidence. Call him meek Mil Mascaras when he's framed like that.
Chris, I would imagine Tim Brooks has better places to spend his money than on his clothes.
From looks of Brooks, the only thing he spends money on are cheap beer, folding chairs, and sun exposure.
He looks like he drinks all day, sits in the Texas sun, and dares melanoma to do something.
overindulging in drink and skin cancer. This man is built like a warning label. And melanoma. Tim Brooks throws another punch that looks like it has stage 4 cancer.
Those punches are medically inadvisable. They should come with a sunscreen warning.
Push-off, leapfrog, and a flying forearm by Mil Mascaras. Finally, some offense that wasn't created accidentally.
That forearm had more impact than Brooks' entire offensive arsenal combined.
Big drop kick, an actual big drop kick, not the Tim Brooks falls over his own ankles version.
Brooks takes that one like a man being hit by a gentle breeze.
But he misses a second drop kick. Mascaras fails at something. Write that down, historians. Brooks goes for the follow-up elbow and misses by a zip code.
He landed closer to Waxahachie than to Mil Máscaras.
And Mil Mascaras now has time, actual time, to climb to the top rope while Brooks recalculates his life choices.
He climbs with the grace of a lucha swan.
Top rope, big crossbody block. 1, 2, 3. Tim Brooks the loser, but you already knew that.
Should have been billed as loser Tim Brooks from the get-go.
Crowd killer Tim Brooks strikes again. The only man who can deflate a room by existing. And we fade out on Brooks, the human wet cigarette.
We go from 0
to hero, baby. All right, Bill, how about we do 3 in a row with the Von Erichs?
After this opener, we deserve it.